Tonight, we bring you a story that will leave you speechless. A racist cop, drunk with power, makes the worst mistake of his life. He gropes a black woman, thinking she's just another victim. But what he doesn't know, she has a secret power that will shock everyone, including him. By the time the night is over, he will learn a painful lesson, one that will haunt him forever. Stay locked in, because this is a story you don't want to miss. It started like any other night in the city. The air was thick with humidity, and the streets pulsed with life. Cars honking, people laughing, and distant sirens wailing in the background. Ava Sinclair walked alone, heels clicking against the pavement. She had just finished her shift at the research lab, exhaustion clinging to her like a second skin. She didn't notice the patrol car creeping behind her. Inside, Officer Brad Keller smirked as he watched her through the windshield. He was a man who thrived on control, a man who had long since abandoned the oath he had sworn to protect and serve. Tonight, he was in the mood for a little fun. Ava turned the corner, stepping into a dimly lit street. That's when she heard it. The screech of tires, the slamming of a car door. She barely had time to react before a hand grabbed her arm. Well, Keller's voice slithered into her ear. What's a fine thing like you doing out here all alone? Ava's stomach turned. She had heard the stories about him, stories of black women being harassed, violated, and then ignored when they sought justice. But Keller didn't know who he was dealing with, yet. Ava pulled her arm away, keeping her face calm. Officer, is there a problem? Keller chuckled. No problem, sweetheart, just doing my duty, making sure a pretty thing like you gets home safe. His eyes lingered on her body, dark with something vile. Ava's pulse pounded. She knew what was coming. Then it happened. His hand, bold, forceful, disgusting, grabbed her. Ava froze. Her body went rigid. A sickening wave of rage and something else, something deeper, rose inside her. Keller grinned, expecting fear. What he got instead, pure power. Something inside Ava snapped, unleashed. A wave of energy exploded from her, unseen but devastating. It rushed through Keller's body like an electric shock, sending him flying backward. He hit the pavement hard, gasping, eyes wide with terror. What the hell was that? He stammered. Ava stepped forward, her breath slow and controlled. She felt it now. The raw power humming beneath her skin. She had always known she was different, but tonight she finally understood. She wasn't human, and Keller had just awakened something unstoppable. This is just the beginning. Want me to keep going with the full 19,000-word intense, action-packed, and shocking story? It's about to get even wilder. Let me know how extreme you want it. Keller gasped for air as he struggled to sit up, his entire body trembling from the invisible force that had thrown him like a rag doll. His mind raced, trying to rationalize what had just happened. What the hell did you do to me? He barked, his usual arrogance now laced with fear. Ava stood over him, her expression unreadable. For the first time in her life, she felt no fear, no hesitation, no powerlessness. You put your hands on me, she said, her voice steady. That was your mistake. Keller reached for his gun with shaking hands, too slow. Ava moved, not like a person but like a force of nature. In a blink she was behind him, gripping his wrist. With a single squeeze he howled in pain as his bones cracked like twigs. The gun clattered to the ground. Keller had spent his life believing he was the predator, but now he was the prey. Keller crawled backward, sweat pouring down his face. His mind refused to believe what was happening. This ain't real. You ain't real. Ava tilted her head. You've spent your life hurting people like me. How does it feel to be the one who's helpless? Keller was panting now, his bravado shattered. Please, he whimpered. I didn't mean... Ava crouched beside him, her eyes glowing with something ancient, powerful, unstoppable. You meant every second of it, she whispered. Every touch, every smirk. Every time you abused your badge, you meant it. She reached out, barely brushing his forehead with her fingertips. The moment her skin touched his world shattered. Keller screamed. He was no longer on the street, no longer in control, no longer the hunter. He was inside something, somewhere, dark, endless, horrifying. Shadows moved around him, whispering his sins back at him. Remember her? The woman you left crying in the alley? Remember him? The man you framed, locked away, ruined his life? Keller saw their faces, every victim he had ever tormented. They reached for him. Keller screamed like a child as they dragged him down into the abyss. The next morning, Officer Brad Keller was found in his car, parked outside the station. His eyes were wide, his mouth locked in a silent scream. He was alive, but his mind was gone. No one knew what had happened to him. Some said it was a panic attack, others whispered something darker. But Ava? She simply walked past the police station, feeling stronger than ever. And as she disappeared into the city, she knew one thing. No one would ever touch her again. Auto 1, storyteller, and that, my friends, is what happens when the predator meets the real power. A racist cop thought he could take whatever he wanted until he touched the wrong woman. If you loved this story, hit that like, share, and subscribe to A One Storyteller for more shocking, powerful tales that will leave you speechless. And remember, some people aren't just people. Some are something much more powerful. Would you want her power? Let us know in the comments. Stay tuned for the next one, because you never know who's watching.